So today, we're going to talk about the 3 key elements to understanding confidence. And when you put these 3 steps together and you do them on a regular basis, your confidence is going to grow exponentially. It's going to grow huge, a little bit at a time. If you really want something to work, you ultimately can't fake it. And like you start to walk over to a girl, and as the tension increases because you're getting closer, maybe she's looking at you and you're making solid eye contact, you start to feel the pressure of that tension in your body. It starts to build. These little things, we call them 1%ers, they build up really fast, and pretty soon you feel, the other person feels a lack of confidence in you. So in this video, we're going to talk about what does it mean to really be confident, and what does confidence look like? Honestly, a lot of people say, just be confident. Women tell you just be confident, men tell you just be confident, but that's a real kind of elusive thing to say, right? It's vague. What is confidence? What does confidence really look like? In this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 key elements to understanding confidence. Because if you don't understand these 3 key elements, you're going to have a really hard time ultimately seeing and building real confidence. It'll still be a vague concept to you. So let's take a look at this at a deeper level. A woman says all the time that I love confidence, or a guy says just be confident. Like my friends used to say that to me all the time back when I was really insecure and shy. They would say, just be confident when you talk to her. And I never really knew what that meant. So the best I could do was to kind of wall off, push down, and walk up and act like I was confident. Play the role, pretend to the best of my ability what I thought was confident. But the only problem was that never really worked for me. And I didn't understand why. It worked for them, but it didn't work for me. But there was a key difference that I couldn't see between them and me. They actually were confident, and I was pretending to be confident. Like an A-list celebrity, an actor that can actually feel the emotions of the role they are playing, and the B actor, who's just kind of faking the emotions and being in a campy way kind of playing them out. And there's a reason the A actor is the A actor and the B actor is the B actor. It's because if you really want something to work, you ultimately can't fake it. So what is confidence? If you really want to build real confidence, then you got to understand what it is. You see, the average guy, when he tries to be confident, like I said a few minutes ago or a few seconds ago, the average guy, when he tries to be confident, like I just said, tries to wall it off. He breathes in, he cuts off from here, shuts down. He's like, okay, I'm going to go talk. And he gets all this pressure inside his head. He gets serious, or he gets high, and he gets like this energy of what we call a state pump. All this energy comes at the woman. Hi, what's your name? And he's pushing, and it feels forced. And so to the average woman, that feels forced. It feels weird. Why? Because she can't feel you when you're approaching. Because that's not real confidence. You see, real confidence is always accompanied with emotion, some level of vulnerability to your own emotion. And this is essential if you want women to like you. Now, the other side of that is neediness. And that's what we're avoiding. We don't want to feel needy in front of the girl. We don't want to feel weak or insecure. So we do this walling off, this seriousness, to avoid feeling too needy or insecure in front of the woman. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to actually feel your emotions, stay solid and calm. I'm going to show you what that looks like at least. So let's take a look at the 3 key elements to understanding what real confidence looks like. The first thing you got to understand is that real confidence is not forced. All you guys out there, when you walk up and talk to a woman, or let's say it's a business deal, or let's say it's a sales situation, you're trying to force the confidence. That's the big problem. That's what I was trying to do. I was always trying to force it. And that's that walling off, serious, pushing, forcing kind of energy. That's why we call it a state pump. I'm pumping myself up so I don't feel my insecurities. And then I'm going to move forward and go deal with the problem. Kind of like, right before a sporting event, pump, 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 pump. And then now I'm all psycho in my brain. My mind is racing 100 miles an hour. And I'm like, let's go do it. And when it comes to communication, when it comes to human connection, when it comes to conversation, that does not work. It actually scares other people. Maybe it works when you're playing football, or maybe it works during sports, but I actually believe there's limits to that too. But in real confidence, it comes from being calm, centered inside. while being powerful at the same time. It's almost like two polar opposites. Inside, you're still because you know who you are. You know you're confident. You believe you're confident. And on the outside, you might still have energy, activity, power coming from your body. You might have solid eye contact, but you're still calm on the inside. Your mind's not racing. Now, what does this give you? This gives you the ability to feel your emotions, to feel her emotions when she talks, to connect to her deeper. Because when you're calm inside your body and your mind's not racing, you're going to start to notice all kinds of subtleties. You'll start to notice that she's feeling a little sad or happy right now when she tells this story, or curious when she tells that story, or even maybe a bit turned on. Or maybe the buyer is putting up some objections because you're doing a sales call. Let's say you're in the sales business, but you can feel that the buyer is still curious because you're calm and centered inside. So it makes it easy for you to see this stuff and then lead the conversation in different directions to move it where you want to move it, to have fun with it. But if you're racing inside your mind is spinning, you're not calm and centered inside, you can't pick that up. You can't see it because you're too distracted by the thoughts and images and feelings going on in your own body. So you're not connecting to the person in front of you. And then they can't feel you either because you're racing up here. Emotions come from the nervous system, come from the body. They can't feel that because you're up here racing, and so they can't trust you. And that really makes it difficult to move forward. So the first step is learning to be calm and relaxed in your nervous system, your body. Now, the second step is even more important in a lot of ways, or just as important, because if you're just calm and relaxed, you're not going to go anywhere. And the second step is the ability to step into the tension, to increase tension at will, to move through tension proactively. Well, what does that mean, proactively? A lot of guys feel a little bit of tension, like you start to walk over to a girl, and as the tension increases because you're getting closer, maybe she's looking at you and you're making solid eye contact, you start to feel the pressure of that tension in your body. It starts to build. Now picture a pressure building inside of a valve, and the valve wants to release. Well, we call that a tension release. So then the guy starts to tension release. He starts to look away, he gets nervous, he pulls back, he shuts off, he walls off. All of these little subtle communications that tell the girl you're insecure. Now she doesn't think, oh, look, he just walled off. She just feels it, and it feels wrong to her. Or tells the client that you're doing business with, or whoever you're dealing with, that you're insecure. And so these little things, we call them 1%ers, they build up really fast, and pretty soon you feel the other person feels a lack of confidence in you. So what I want to encourage you to do is start to pay attention to how you step into tension, how comfortable you are. Can you step into a lot of tension? Can you step into a little bit? Are you reactive when you step into tension? Now, reactive means that I'm trying to get rid of the tension as fast as possible. I get into it, and suddenly I get nervous. So how do I get rid of this tension? How do I get it done? Like I'm nervous because, a simple example, I'm walking down the street and I drop my water bottle. I get embarrassed. People are looking at me and they're like, and I grab the water bottle as fast as I can, try to throw it in the trash because I'm nervous. A confident guy wouldn't give a fuck, right? I mean, it's just a water bottle. So he'll bend down, he'll pick it up, and then if he throws it in the trash or whatever he does with it, he moves on. But he doesn't get reactive to that moment. Well, if I walk over to a pretty girl and say hi, and then she looks at me funny, am I going to get reactive? I'm going to be all nervous and shaky, or am I going to be like, oh, hi, my name's Brian, start getting this reactive energy? Or am I going to stay calm and centered? She looks at me in a weird way, and I just enjoy it. It's just part of the dance. And then I just continue on from a place of enjoying the tension of the uncertainty of that moment, moving forward in it and through it, one step at a time, and relaxing even more into it. Even when she does a rejection, pushes you back. Like one time I had a girl, I was on a date. I'll give you a real example. And there was a lot of tension between us, and I was sitting and enjoying every second of that tension. Getting a little closer, and this was a first date. And I went in to kiss her, and she didn't kiss me. She actually kind of pulled back a little, but she stayed right in the tension, just enough so she could hold that tension with me. Now, I remember thinking the old me would have gotten all broken up over this and backed out, not knowing what to do. But the new me recognized she didn't break the tension at all, and even if she had, it wouldn't have changed anything. But she stayed right there with me, And I asked her, I said, well, I don't remember what I said. I said something to her because she wouldn't move forward. I was trying to get her to move forward with me, and I just sat in that tension. And whatever I said to her, she responded with, and she had really broken English. Her English wasn't very good. So she responded with, well, I like this. And she pointed to me, my body, me. She said, but I don't know about you yet. And so what she was saying was I like the way you look. I like who you're being, but I don't trust you yet. And so I backed up, but I stayed in the tension slowly. And I just sat in that moment, and I enjoyed it with her. And then I continued to move forward. I stayed proactive with the tension. I didn't let it die. I continued to play with it for the next few hours into the evening, all the way back to the hotel I was staying at. And we ended up enjoying and dancing to music there and increasing the tension more until eventually the natural progression took us into that kiss. Because I kept pushing into the tension, right to where she was comfortable, and then backing up. Pushing in, right to where she's comfortable, backing up, and not reactively, proactively. Almost like taffy. And that's a great example of being proactive with the tension. And that's what you want to create, is this understanding that you need to be proactive. So that's step number 2. Number 1, being calm and centered in your body, but then also at the same time being proactive, enjoying and moving within the tension. Step number 3, I kind of alluded to it earlier, is the willingness to be vulnerable. Now, a lot of guys out there confuse vulnerability with neediness. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this masculine kind of strong vulnerability, not this wimp, weak kind of vulnerability. I used to confuse the two also. And your power comes from your vulnerability. Think about this for a minute. If you go out there and you wall off completely all your emotions and you get stoic and serious and you go up and talk to people, is that more confident? Or if you go out and talk to people and you open up completely to your emotions, your vulnerability, but you walk into it anyways, you don't make them responsible for your emotion. You don't say, oh, please like me back. You just say, look, you walk up and you're scared, you show it. You let them see you being scared, but you just stand there anyways. I'm here to meet you. Yeah, I'm nervous, but I can handle it. I'm a man. And from that place, don't you feel more confidence? Or doesn't that guy feel more confident than the other guy? The other guy who is stoic and shut off? I mean, if you're guarding your emotions and you're unwilling to be vulnerable, and the other guy's willing to be vulnerable and stay strong in his vulnerability and face it anyways, that to me is the definition of confidence. And that ability increases your ability to surrender, grow, change immensely. And when you put these 3 steps together and you do them on a regular basis, your confidence is going to grow exponentially. It's going to grow huge, a little bit at a time, because you're going to be able to feel through the vulnerability what your edge is. Just like lifting weights, you're going to push right up to that edge and then a little more, then right up that edge and then a little more, then right up that edge and a little more. And in a month, 2 months, 3 months, the amount of tension that you're comfortable with while staying vulnerable, while being proactive, is going to be huge. So I want to invite you into this. These 3 steps: relaxed, calm, inside, nervous system relaxed right down the front of your body. Number 2, proactively enjoying and stepping into the tension in the environment around you. And number 3, willing to feel all the emotion from the most vulnerable place that you're willing to at that moment without going any farther. Step right at that edge, willing to feel as much vulnerability as you can every day. And every day it'll increase a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And if you put those 3 steps together, you're going to grow powerfully. Now, in the next video, we're going to do another video, and this is going to be kind of a 2-parter, and it's going to be on building these tension skills even more. I kind of alluded to what it is, the 3 key elements to understanding tension. I talked a little bit about building them, but I'm sure some of you have more questions in this area. So in the next video, I'm going to go deeper into how to really build this tension, kind of more detail. So I'll see you in the next video, and remember, only the confident really live. I run into a lot of clients that do one of 2 things. They either push themselves way too hard Push, push, push every day, all day long. I'm going to go out and meet as many women as possible. I'm going to go out and work on my confidence as much as possible. I'm going to push, push, push. I see this in business, and I see this with meeting women. Much your subcommunication is affecting everybody in the room. Also, the way you appear when they're looking at you, even when you're sitting still. It's pretty insane how powerful your subcommunication is. We have micro expressions going off all the time, and those micro expressions tell